you're a young person and you can't afford to live here, then maybe you should not live here. I mean, that is a real thing. Yeah, I know that we've now grown up in a society that says that you deserve to live where you grew up.
But really what you see underneath all of that is contempt for the people who live here. You have no right to live in the town where you were born just because your parents are buried there. Your ancestors built the town. Who do you think
One in the United States should be retiring at 65 years old? Frankly, I think retirement itself is a stupid idea unless you have some sort of health problem. It's totally insane that you believe that you should be able to work.
Who are you exactly? Who gave you the moral authority to judge when I retire? That's insane. You're like a child who's got some deal with. They don't like the people they lead. That's it right there. They have no love for the people they lead. And all leadership is based on the patriarchal model.
Look, we need to talk about Ben Shapiro, because what you're about to watch is genuinely one of the most mask-off moments I've ever seen from a conservative pundit. Like, dude just completely drops the pretense that he cares about working people and straight up tells you, if you can't afford to live where you grew up, just leave. Just pack up and go. Your parents are buried there? Your family built that town? Who cares? And Tucker Carlson is going to break down exactly what's wrong with that attitude. And trust me, it gets even worse. Because then Shapiro goes after retirement. Yeah, retirement. He literally says nobody should retire at 65. If you're 60 years old with a broken back from climbing ladders your whole life, too bad. Keep working. And what Tucker nails here, what he absolutely demolishes, is the contempt behind all of it. The loathing these guys have for ordinary people. So let's get into it.
We have trained an entire generation of people to believe that if their lives are not what they want them to be, it's the fault of systems, as opposed to decisions that are in their own control. And politicians absolutely have a stake in selling that. A lot of people in our industry have a stake in selling that. It makes people feel good about themselves and bad about the world. And the reality is, if you want a better life, you should feel better about the world and worse about yourself. If you're a young person and you can't afford to live here, then maybe you should not live here. I mean, that is a real thing. Yeah, I know that we've now grown up in a society that says that you deserve to live where you grew up. But the reality is that the history of America is almost literally the opposite of that.
It's hard to know where to start with that clip. I think that's been on the internet and people are experiencing gut level revulsion when they see it, and they really should. And there's so many ways to approach that. There's so many things wrong with those statements. So childish, those statements, so lacking an understanding of people or any connection really to the country at all. But really what you see underneath all of that is contempt for the people who live here. You have no right to live in the town where you were born just because your parents are buried there. Your ancestors built the town. Who do you think you are? Imagine feeling that way about someone in your own country. Imagine having that level of contempt for a fellow American. You don't even know anything about the person. It's young people. They're not entitled to live where they want. They'll live where Blackrock tells them they can live. It's like, whoa. If you had a thought like that, I've had some ugly thoughts. I just admitted having some ugly thoughts. Boy, I would try and push it back and not express it. Ben says it without any embarrassment because he means it. That's exactly right, because he means it. Whew. I don't think that you can win a popular debate with that attitude, because irrespective of the content of your sentence, people can feel the loathing that the speaker has for them. Ben Shapiro just does not care about you at all, is not even pretending to care about you. So again, it really doesn't matter what he's selling. That guy is not going to make the sale if people are free to buy whatever they want. It's like, I don't know what that guy's selling, but he doesn't like me. I can feel it right away. He doesn't care at all about me at all. And he thinks so little of me, he's not even going to like put on the dog. He's not even going to like try to pretend to care about me. And a guy like that, whew, he really needs censorship and bullying to succeed, because the free market does not reward a man like that at all, ever, because people don't like it. Why would they like it? Here's another clip that makes basically the same point that is in some ways even more disgusting, maybe less well known. Here's Ben Shapiro telling you that if you ever want to retire, stop working to pay off your 50 freaking year mortgage. You own the house, really, for 50 years. Okay, no, I'm renting it. I'll be 90. by the time I pay it off, which of course I won't because I got all kinds of other loans too. So if you complain about that, if you had these dreams of like working really hard and retiring, how dare you? How dare you? Here's Ben Shapiro.
No one in the United States should be retiring at 65 years old. Frankly, I think retirement itself is a stupid idea unless you have some sort of health problem. It's totally insane that you believe that you should be able to work from the time that you are essentially 20 to the time that you are 65, which is a 45-year period, pay in, and then you will receive Social Security benefits sufficient to support you and your family, you and your wife or whatever, for like another 20 years. That's crazy talk.
Yeah, it's crazy talk. Like, how dare you? How dare you? Now, the conventional response to this, and I've heard people say it, is, well, Ben Shapiro can say that because he's a podcaster. He's not climbing ladders for a living. And if you climb ladders for a living, you know, or do any kind of physical labor, even light physical labor, your body breaks down. It's just a fact. And if you're around people who've done it, you know, by the time they get to 50, they're limping and they're in pain. That's why they're, you know, you go to these little towns around the country and most businesses are gone. There are no furniture stores or no toy stores. Like, they're all gone. They're all at Walmart. They're a husk. But what you do find next to the, the drug rehab places are chiropractors. There are a lot of chiropractors throughout the country. It's because poorer people, working class people, blue collar people are aching. They have trouble walking. Their backs hurt. So retirement for a man who climbs ladders is a little bit different from a man who hosts a podcast. But that's not even the point that I would make. That's true, of course. He's pure contempt for people who work with their bodies, and he should be judged for that. But I think it's deeper than that. It's like, how dare you tell me when I should retire? Who are you exactly? Who gave you the moral authority to judge when I retire? That's insane! You're like a child who's got some deal with Facebook or whatever, whoever you are. You are not God. You have no right to talk to me like that. But you do because you have no respect for me. You have no love for me at all. And it does kind of point to the core problem, not with Ben Shapiro, who will not be a factor in America in 5 years. I can promise you that. Or Mark Levin. Let's hope he gets better. No, it points to the problem with their leaders. They don't like the people they lead. That's it right there. They have no love for...
Okay, so Tucker just played the retirement clip. And I don't even know where to start with this one, man. Ben Shapiro is genuinely sitting there telling working class people that retirement is a stupid idea. That if you thought you could work for 45 years and then maybe, I don't know, rest, not be in pain anymore, maybe spend time with your grandkids, that's crazy talk. And here's the thing. Tucker's about to make the point about physical labor, about bodies breaking down. And that's absolutely true. But I want you to think about something else for a second. Who is Ben Shapiro to tell anyone when they should retire? What moral authority does this guy have? He's a podcaster. He sits at a desk. He talks into a microphone. And he's telling a 65-year-old roofer that he should keep climbing onto houses in 95-degree heat because Social Security is too expensive? Are you serious right now? And notice what he says. You and your wife or whatever. You and your wife or whatever. Like he can't even bring himself to care about the actual human beings he's talking about. They're just abstract numbers to him. They're cattle. That's what Tucker means when he talks about contempt. It's not just that Shapiro disagrees with Social Security policy. It's that he fundamentally does not see working people as fully human. He sees them as economic units. And if those units aren't profitable anymore, they should just keep working until they die. Now, Tucker's going to connect this to the bigger problem, which is that these conservative grifters don't actually love the people they claim to represent. They don't. And you can feel it. I know you guys don't need me to explain this, but when someone really cares about you, you can tell. And when someone has contempt for you, you can tell that too. It's visceral. It's in the tone. It's in the phrasing. You and your wife or whatever, just dripping with disdain. And the thing is, Shapiro's not even hiding it. He's not even trying to sugarcoat it. He just says it because he thinks his audience is dumb enough to not notice. Or maybe he thinks they'll agree with him because they've been trained to hate themselves, to see their own struggle as personal failure instead of systemic extraction. But here's what kills me. This is the guy who gets held up as some kind of intellectual heavyweight on the right. This is the guy who's supposed to represent conservative values, family, community, tradition, right? And he's telling you that you don't deserve to retire in the town where your parents are buried, that you don't deserve to stop working when your body gives out, that your life is only valuable insofar as you're generating profit for someone else. It's so transparent. It's so obviously in service of corporate interests and billionaire donors who don't want to pay into Social Security, who don't want to fund public pensions, who see working people as disposable. And Shapiro's just carrying water for them. He's playing his audience like an absolute fiddle. Tucker's about to break down the leadership angle here, and pay attention to this part, because this is where it gets really good. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about Shapiro's retirement take, though. Like, do you think a guy who's never done manual labor in his life should be telling roofers and construction workers when they're allowed to stop working?
Love for the people they lead. And all leadership is based on the patriarchal model. The father is a good father because he loves his children. He may make mistakes, but ultimately he comes back to true north because he loves them. That's what keeps him honest, his sincere love for his children. That is the model for all leadership. That's the model for leadership in the military, in a company. That's the model for rhetorical leadership. You want people to follow you? You want to sell your ideas to them? You want to convince them that what you're saying is true? Show some love for them. Demonstrate that you love them, you care about them. Why are we doing this? Because we think it's better for you. Shapiro and all of these guys, they don't make an effort to do that because they don't feel that way at all. Shut up, cattle. You're a Nazi. Give us the money for our preferred little country, or else we're going to denounce you. Man, those attitudes are incompatible with leadership and, in fact, with democracy itself. You can't have a country of 350 million people governed by boutique goals and concerns. I really care so much about this thing, and you better care about it too, or else I'm going to attack you and deplatform you. It doesn't work. It's illegitimate, actually. And if you keep it up, you're flirting with, real backlash, like a real one. Not Nick Fuentes, like a real one. So cool it. Listen to other people. Don't treat them like cattle. Treat them like human beings. And finally, the last lesson to learn from all of this is that there is no Amalek. Deuteronomy describes a tribe that is beyond redemption and must be killed. Period. Because they have blood guilt. Their DNA, as Mark Levin explained on Twitter, makes them evil. And they must be destroyed, every one of them. Not just the fighting age men, but their wives and their kids and their parents all must be killed, because we're not just killing a foreign army, we're killing a strain of genetics. Because that's where the sin comes from, their genetics. We do not acknowledge that. We cannot allow that attitude. That will wind up like Rwanda right away, like quickly in our lifetimes. We will see mass killing if we don't get that attitude under control. It's the attitude that animated the Nazis. It's the attitude that really is behind all mass slaughter in history, and we can't have it in the West, period. So once you accept that, then you also have to acknowledge that there are no permanent enemies, that we disagree with people. We may violently disagree, passionately disagree. I hate what you're saying. But and this is a Christian imperative as well, but also it's like a prerequisite for continuing to exist. You have to acknowledge and say out loud that if people change, or if you change, because we all do change, and when we're under pressure, we change much more quickly. All of us are changing right now. It's imperceptible to us usually. But keep a daily diary and look at it 5 years from now. You're a different person. You change. And so do all the people around you. And because that is true, some people will change for the worse. Some people will change for the better. We cannot have permanent enemies. Period. It's immoral to imagine that someone must always be your enemy, that he's an Amalekite or whatever. That is immoral. And it's also, by the way, cutting yourself off from one of life's greatest joys, which is finding common humanity with another person and deciding, wait a second, I really dislike this person, but all of a sudden I'm seeing this person as a person whose concerns are not exactly the same as mine, but close enough. And actually this person is saying something really interesting, and I'm learning and I'm changing and I'm becoming much more aware of who this person is, and I really like it. In other words, there's no greater joy than the joy of reconciliation. That's the story of the prodigal son. Yeah, he did all kinds of indefensible stuff. Yeah, he wasted dad's money. Yeah, he acted like a total asshole. Okay, but he's back, and we're going to celebrate it. That's the greatest, most profound joy that there is, being reunited to another person, discovering that actually, I really like you. I thought I didn't, but now I do, because there are no permanent enemies. We have to have that attitude.
All right, so Tucker just absolutely dismantled Ben Shapiro and everything he represents. And here's the verdict. Tucker won this. Not even close. Because what Tucker's doing here is something most conservative commentators refuse to do. He's calling out the grift from inside the movement. He's saying the quiet part out loud. These people do not care about you. They don't love the people they claim to lead. And without that love, without that basic sense of solidarity and respect, leadership is impossible. Democracy is impossible. And look, this isn't about left versus right. This is about up versus down. This is about whether you see working people as human beings with dignity and dreams, or whether you see them as cattle who should shut up and accept whatever scraps the billionaire class decides to throw them. Shapiro chose door number 2. And Tucker's exposing that choice for what it is. Pure contempt. Now, the retirement thing, let's be real for a second. Social Security isn't broken because working people are greedy. It's not broken because people want to retire at 65 instead of 75. It's broken, in quotes, because for decades, politicians have raided the fund, because wages have stagnated while productivity skyrocketed, because wealth has been extracted upward and concentrated in fewer and fewer hands. And now guys like Shapiro want you to believe that the problem is you, that you're entitled for wanting to rest after 45 years of hard work, that you're lazy for thinking your body shouldn't be destroyed in service of someone else's profit margin. It's gaslighting, it's class warfare, and it's being sold to you by someone who has never missed a meal, never worried about a medical bill, never had to choose between paying rent and fixing his car. Ben Shapiro lives in a world where money is infinite and work is abstract. And from that world, he's lecturing you about sacrifice and responsibility. It's obscene. But here's what gives me hope. Tucker calling this out means the cracks are showing. It means even within conservative media, there's a recognition that the billionaire-funded, corporate-backed, donor class politics that Shapiro represents is deeply unpopular. People can smell it, they can feel the contempt, and they're rejecting it. So here's what I want you to take away from this. Leadership requires love. It requires seeing the people you claim to represent as fully human, as deserving of dignity, as worthy of a good life. And when you don't have that, when you have nothing but contempt and disdain, people will eventually see through it. They might not have the language for it. They might not be able to articulate exactly what's wrong, but they'll feel it and they'll walk away. That's what's happening to Shapiro. That's what's happening to all these grifters who spent years selling fake populism while cashing checks from the same corporate interests they pretend to oppose. Their audience is waking up. Slowly, but they're waking up. And guys like Tucker, whatever you think of him, are helping that process along by saying what needs to be said. All right, if you made it this far, drop a comment. Let me know what you think about Tucker's take here. Do you think he's right about the leadership problem on the right? Do you think Shapiro's attitude is representative of conservative media as a whole? Or is he an outlier? I'd love to hear what you guys think. And if this resonated with you, share it. Because this is the conversation we need to be having. Not left versus right, but up versus down. Not culture war distractions, but class war reality. That's what we do here at Blueprint. I'll see you in the next one. Stay sharp.